Welcome back to the shop. Today we are doing an oil change on a 2016 Subaru Impreza. The parts we're going to need today is some OW20 motor oil. I've chosen Castrol Edge Synthetic for this one, and the Fram Extra Guard PH7317. I also tend to put about half a liter of the Lucas synthetic oil stabilizer in just to help out the engine. One of the things I do recommend when you're doing an oil change or working with any kind of oil-based products, these nitrile gloves, they do a really good job at not letting the oil chew through them. So if you got a pair, put them on. Now when you come underneath the vehicle, you're gonna find your oil drain pan bolt centered. It's 17 mil. We're gonna get up under there, we're gonna loosen that off, and we're gonna get that oil draining. So once you've got this nut cracked, it's going to be pretty easy to loosen. And when this oil comes out, it is gonna be a decent pressure. So make sure you have tray distance away, because it's gonna kick out and you'll feel the threads stop grabbing. And that's when you're gonna be able to just hold on to the bolt in one hand, give it a little tug, see if the threads are still biting, and have a rag in the other hand ready to grab that bolt and throw it in. So here we go. Get that bolt into the rag, and don't lose it in the oil pan. If you do lose it in the oil pan, grab yourself a magnet and fish it out. Now as that oil starts to drip, you may have to push your pan back just a bit. Just keep an eye on it. As your oil is dripping on the bottom side, come around here and snap the cap. Just to let some air in there. It kind of works like a snorkel. And we're going to go ahead and loosen the oil filter as well. So as you're loosening the filter here, one of the good things to have hanging around is obviously another rag, and I keep a plastic bag right close by. There is going to be some residual oil that's gonna come out of here. So once you get that off, flip it upside down and get it into the bag right away. So one thing you want to do is you definitely want to take a clean rag and wipe the grit away from where your oil filter rubber seal is sitting. We're ready to put the new filter on. What I like to do with the new filter is there's a rubber O-ring around the outside of this. Get some fresh oil on your finger and just wipe it around. So take some fresh oil out of the top of that and just wipe it around the top, just so that the heat of the engine doesn't cook that sucker on there. Now that we have that all done, we can go ahead and just very carefully thread that back on there. Make sure you don't cross thread it. That's a nightmare you don't want to deal with. And snug that on there. Now by the time you've got that all done, we're going to come down here and have a look. Looks like the oil is just dripping a little bit there now still, so we're good to get the bolt back in there and tighten her up. So now we're just going to go ahead with our nice clean bolt. Make sure your washer is all wiped off and clean. And we're going to tuck that back up in there and thread it back in. Now that that's all clean, we are going to snug that up with our 17 mil wrench. Before you do start filling our oil up, make sure, so owner's manual says 5 liters of O20 engine oil. Make sure you have enough, and make sure you don't overfill it. So we'll set that off to the side and we'll get filling up. So I'm actually going to start off by putting half a liter of this synthetic oil stabilizer in. I can put the link in the description down below. This stuff runs like honey, so I don't typically use a funnel for this, but just get her turned upside down and let her do its thing. Once that has drained itself out, we're going to get to the oil. I recommend using a funnel so that you don't smell all the burning oil that you spill all over your engine compartment. And for the 020 synthetic. So I've just put in about half a liter of the Lucas and another 3 liters of the 020. I'm going to just put the cap back on here for a minute, and we're going to start the engine up, let the oil get moving around so we can get a good oil reading off the dipstick. Now the dipstick is just on the other side of the engine bay, left side. We're going to start it up, let it rev between 2,000 and 3,000 for about 10 seconds. Let her settle down, shut her off, and we're just going to give it a couple minutes to settle back down before we take the measurement. To the other side here, we have our oil dipstick. It actually says engine oil right on it. Now once you have that wiped off, you can see right at the bottom there, you've got a high dot and a low dot. You want your oil level to be right near the high dot there, but not over. So get the back in there. Pull it back out. And you can see the oil is just on the bottom of the dipstick. Between those 2 dots is a liter of oil. So we're gonna add about a liter and we'll measure again. Alright, so we just added a little bit more. Do a quick check. So as you can see there, just by the glimmer, you can see the oil line is just below our dot there. So we're all set. Thanks very much for coming by the channel today. Hopefully this was helpful for you guys. Don't forget to subscribe and give me a like, thumbs up, and comment down below. Look forward to seeing you on the next one.